Hi guys, it's Mario Obo. Today let's talk about Africa and the reason why Africa is so poor and running behind time compared to the rest of the world. Africa is actually behind many countries today because of certain things I want to talk about in this video. To better understand Africa, think about a man that is born into a wealthy home with everything he needs, and that man wakes up in the morning to have his breakfast, and the servants tell him that the breakfast is gone. This man then asks the servants why. The servants say to him that the neighbors came in much earlier while he was sleeping, and they finished all of the breakfast. But if he is so hungry, they offer him the remnants. This is Africa as of today. You see, African leadership is also questionable. It's a big reason why Africa is behind, because African leaders negotiate with top multinational companies who want to aid Africa, but yet they are a replica of African colonialism. Africa exports raw materials to the world for cheap. These nations refine African raw materials and they bring it back to Africa for expensive. So Africa is actually running at a loss, and this is the truth. Another thing that crippled Africa is greed. Greed is the birth of corruption. African leaders steal from African resources and invest it in the Western world, in the same world that despises us because of the color of our skin. Now, African leaders also do not pay attention to the need because they're tribalistic. It's time for us to put competent hands to rule Africa. These competent hands could even come from minor tribes. Also, the war in Africa has driven away prosperity. It has made prosperity to go into hiding, because no prosperity can come into a land where wickedness is thriving. It's time for us to think about the war in Africa. If we want to see prosperity in Africa, we need to concede peace. We need to come together as one. The unity of Africa is very paramount, because if all nations come together, they can fight the poverty in Africa. Now tell me why Africa is poor. The African youth is not lazy. The African youth is determined. The African youth is strong. The leaders of Africa that tried to speak up and try to elevate Africa were destroyed by their fellow Africans. I can give you examples. Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso, he tried so hard to elevate Burkina Faso. What happened to him? Because the French government was jealous about the thing he was doing for the country and assassinated him by another fellow African. Muammar Gaddafi of Libya was a man who was liberating Africa, but the media helped to destroy him, and then Libya is now backwards in time. That was the only nation in the world that owed no debt to the International Bank. So we as Africans, we have to understand that we are the only ones that care about ourselves, and we the youth are the future of Africa. It's time for us to be innovative and to say, let's go study how these Western people are refining African products, and let's bring prosperity to Africa. Look at the black man. Any black man that is wealthy, he looks so good, because when God created the black man, God created everything for him: the wealth, the strength, the health, and the African man was made for greatness. Now God is interested in Africa at this time, and anyone that stands in the way of God, God will bring that person down. So God is raising armies, raising people to speak about Africa and bring the prosperity to Africa like the way God normally created it. So join this movement. Be a part of the prosperity of Africa. Be a part of the movement that will bring peace to Africa, and let our generations afterwards see the glory of Africa. My name is Mario Obo. God bless Africa. One love.